everybody, this is Allie. Welcome back to my channel, Color Mama 360. And today I am doing my one book per illustrator video. I was inspired by Jess over at Coloring Bumblebee, and I believe she was inspired by somebody as well. I'm not sure what their username is, but I will put it on the screen. Anyways, the idea is to pick one. If I could only have one book per illustrator, which book would I pick? Now, I do have quite a variety of illustrators. I mean, not super broad, but somewhat broad, and less books per illustrator. So to narrow down this list to make it relevant, I only picked illustrators that I owned at least 3 books from. So that is what we're going to start with. So first up is Karron. Now, I do own all 3 of her books by this publisher. So Wondrous Folk, Wildflower Folk, and Little Folk. And it will probably come to no surprise to those of you that watch the channel, but I chose Wondrous Folk as my one book that I would have if I could only have one book by Karron. And the reason for that is I just love this book. I think it has a good variety I think all her books really have a good variety, but the most pages in this book stood out to me, and that's why it is an unofficial project book on the channel, because when I chose my project books, I didn't have this book yet, and then I got it, and there was just no way that I couldn't have it as a project book, because like I said, it has a great variety, really illustrations to color in any season if you like to color by season. Um, yeah, it's a really fun one. And I've done this page and the frost page. Well, you'll see the frost page again. But anyways, this is the book that I would pick if I could only have one book by Karron. All right, up next is R.J. Hampson. Now, I also only own 3 books by R.J. Hampson: Winter Wonder, A Frog's Tale, and Dragon Dreams. So out of those 3, if I could only have one, I would choose Winter Wonder. I love this book because of the theme. I like that it's wintry and has some Christmas pages. And I really think that this is one of his best books, especially if you are looking at flip throughs of his books. This one, I feel like, just draws you to it. I think it's like, I'm trying to figure out how to say it. Like, it's the most appealing book without having seen it in person, which, where I'm at, you don't really see RJ Hampson books in person. So I have to rely on flip throughs or other people's videos. And this book, as soon as I saw the video, immediately grabbed my attention. And I think it's great. And I mean, there's even like, you could even color this in autumn. I mean, it really is kind of an all around book. Yes, there's some pretty Christmassy pages, but like this, you could color this in spring. I mean, it really just has an amazing variety of different pages. So that is my pick for RJ Hampson, Winter Wonder. Next is one of my favorite illustrators that I discovered last year, and that's Ella Jarzabek. And I own Creepy Kawaii Halloween, Color Me Capybaras, and Color Me Christmas for Kids. And if I could only have one book by her, I would pick Creepy Kawaii Halloween. I think that this is one of her best books. It's so cute. Yes, it's a Halloween book. So I do feel like this is one that I am probably going to pull out more in that season. But hey, we'll see what happens. Maybe I want to color something in here another time, and that's totally fine. This is one of my favorite books in my collection. They're fun too. I feel like you can do alcohol markers. They're single-sided. I think all of her books are single-sided, but her illustration style is just really fun, and I think that this book best represents that. So far, I know she has a few others coming out, a couple I have pre-ordered, so I'm excited to see what else she comes out with. But right now, if I could only have one book by Ella Jarzabek, it would be Creepy Kawaii Halloween. All right, next up is Rita Berman. Now, I own Hidden Earth by Rita Berman. her Africa book, her Asia book, her water book, and the spring compilation book. And if I could only choose one, I would choose Hidden Earth, which is my only English edition book by her. And the reason being is I like this bigger format, and I don't think that the paper is that bad, honestly. I have done one page, so I haven't tested a whole lot out on it, but for my purposes, I think the paper is just fine. And I love that it's a little bit of a bigger format, but not huge. Like, to me, this is the perfect size book. And if you see, like, it's the exact same size as Creepy Kawaii. So I clearly like these size of books. But yeah, I also think that this just has a good variety of pages. Like I said, I'm always looking for those. And this one also has things like this, right? Like smaller illustrations and then full illustrations. Some almost more Zen doodly pages, but then some that aren't that Zen doodly as well. So I love this one. Sorry, that was random, but I love this one. So yeah, I just think that she um, really outdid herself with this book, and it's one that I wanted for a really long time. And then when I realized, because sometimes I'm a little behind, guys, as far as what's going on. But when I realized that Hidden Earth was just the English version of Land Under the Microscope or whatever the other one is called, I was like, oh, so much more accessible to me. So I had to get it. So if I could only have one book by Rita Berman, I would choose Hidden Earth. Moving on to Lulu's House of Wonder, or Lulu Mayo. Now, I own several Lulu Mayo books. I own A Million Monsters, A Million Mermaids. Looking on my shelf here, A Million Magical Creatures, and A Million Sea Creatures. For some reason, I did not realize I own both A Million Mermaids and A Million Sea Creatures. I think those ones are pretty similar if I remember right. But anyways, and I own Lulu's House of Wonder, which if I could only have one Lulu book, it would be this one. Again, this will come as no surprise to a lot of you, I'm sure. I love this book because it's single sided, it has a good variety. It really is like all of her books put into one because it has all kinds of different animals. It has the girl. It, like I said, it's single sided. You can throw quite, I've heard, anyways, you can throw quite a lot of mediums at this book. I personally haven't done anything too crazy. Trying to even remember, maybe this was based with Albert Durers. I'm not sure, but oh no, it was based with alcohol marker. Duh. So yeah, you can really throw a lot of mediums at this paper. I've heard. I've only colored the one page, but it is my favorite Lulu Mayo book. I'm just trying to spread the love around and color in my other ones as well. So if I could only have one book by her, that would be the one that I choose. Now, again, this will come of no surprise. I'm a pretty big Theresa Goodridge fan, and as you all know, I love the Whimsical Gnomes coloring book. So I own quite a lot of seasonal books by her. I own Autumn Harvest, Autumn Charm, Home for the Holidays, Enchanted Christmas, and Country Christmas. And then this one. And the reason that I chose this one is because while the other ones aren't all gnomes, they do have some gnome photos. They do have some gnome illustrations. This one is all gnomes, but this one goes through all the seasons. There is literally, as I have said before on the channel, a page for every holiday season you can think of. Earth Day, guys. Yeah. This is a great all around book. I don't love the paper. So, you know, there's that. But I do still think that this, if I could only own one book by her, I would choose this one because of the variety of images, and I like gnomes and I like Theresa Goodridge. So if I could only own one by her, I would choose Whimsical Gnomes. Next up is Johanna Basford, and I would choose Rooms of Wonder. Now, I also have Small Victories, Johanna's Christmas, Ivy and the Inked Butterfly, Magical Worlds, World of Flowers. I feel like I'm missing one, but did I say Small Victories? Yeah. And then Rooms of Wonder, and this is by far my favorite Johanna Basford book. I love that you have like the small illustrations and then a scene, like a scene sort of thing. Um, the cakes and then the bakery. Like I love that how she did this book because it really is. Look, she's put out some stuff more recently, I feel like, and I'm sorry if this is an unpopular opinion, that feels kind of repetitive. Um, Part of the reason I love this book is because I think that this book illustrates her ability better than any other book. I mean, because you have like those small victory type pictures, but then you have her other stuff too, her more scenes and larger illustrations. I mean, she has illustrations that take up the whole page. She has wallpaper pages. I know a lot of you don't like wallpaper pages, but every once in a while I do. And so I really just think that this book is the best demonstration of her art, and that it's, in my opinion, the best book she's put out. So I would definitely want to own this one if I could only own one Johanna Basford book. Rooms of Wonder. Next is another hard one because he's popular and you know who it is. It's Kerby Rosanes. I almost chose Dark Fairy Tales, which, guys, every time I make a video and talk about how much I like Dark Fairy Tales, I laugh at myself because of the fact that I did not want to get that book for the longest time. It was really hard to decide between Dark Fairy Tales and this one. The reason I think I chose Mythomorphia is because Dark Fairy Tales is all fairy tale themed, and I feel like this one just has more of a variety. Like, yes, they're kind of like myths, but that's a lot broader, I feel like, than fairy tales, like specific. So I do feel like there's a little bit more variety in this one. I love this page. I am so excited to someday color it. Um, yeah, there's a lot of pages in here that I want to color. There's a lot of pages in Dark Fairy Tales that I want to color too. But I think that, yeah, I think that this one just has a better variety. Now, I can't necessarily say part of the reason I would say this one is because it's spiral bound, because I did have it spiral bound myself. I didn't buy it that way. My Dark Fairy Tale ones, it has not been spiral bound yet, but it does make it nicer to have a spiral bound. So if I could only own one book by Kerby Rosanes, it would be Mythomorphia. Okay, coming in next is Hanna Karlzon, and it would be Seasons. And honestly, the reason that I chose this one is just because I never thought that I would be able to own it. You probably heard me talk about in my winter haul that I didn't think I would ever own this book. It's out of print. You can really only get it like on eBay or something like that. I was really nervous to buy it from eBay because I thought that it would be colored in or damaged, but it's in pretty pristine condition. And yeah, so if I could only own one book by Hanna Karlzon, it would be this book. Again, it's got a good variety of pages. It's on the older paper, and it's hard to get your hands on this book. So, yes, this will be the book that I would choose. Can't wait to color in that one. And then last is Botanicum. Now, I also own Luna, Twilight Garden, and Nightfall, I believe. So a lot of her older books. I don't own any of her newer books. The illustrations in her newer books are a little simple for my personal taste, but yeah, I looking through them. I haven't colored in this one, but looking through them, I like the illustrations in this one the most. I kind of the so Nightfall and Twilight Garden I've had for a really long time, but I'm actually surprised that I didn't get this one before Luna, because the illustrations in this one appeal to me a little bit more. I mean, I like both of them, obviously, because I own both of them. But if I could only have one by Maria Trolle, I would choose Botanicum. And those are all the books that I have to show you today. So those are all the illustrators that I own at least 3 books from. And those are my picks for if I could only own one book by those illustrators, which I would choose. So I hope that this was just kind of a fun, quick look at, some of my favorite books by favorite illustrators or why I would choose books over other ones. And yeah, so don't forget to go check out the others videos that I mentioned at the beginning that have done this, and I will see you guys next time. Okay, everybody, happy coloring. Bye.